Hey everyone, this is Gary Kay. I'm here with Chester Lee, the VP of Sales at Lumens. Chester, thanks for joining us here on launch week. And for those of you who don't know Lumens or maybe haven't seen or heard of Lumens in a while, seen or heard from Lumens in a while, talk about sort of where you're positioned in the market before we talk about the new product that you have to offer.
Definitely, Gary. I appreciate for you guys taking the time to have me on board here and talking about Lumens as a whole. Obviously, Lumens is historically about a document camera, the Ladybug. We've sold millions of those units across the board over the last 20 years on there. But Lumens as an organization, we've really started really maturing over the last 5 or 6 years. Obviously, we're well known for the PTZ cameras,
Yeah.
10, 12x, 20x, 30x optical zoom, and all that good stuff on there. We've also started including media processors in that solution, IP camera controllers on there, tracking capabilities built into the cameras and solutions. So we've really evolved over the last 5 to 6 years about our technology. So it's coming across. We've also, partnered a lot with Dante, partnered with NDI to go with it. And, one of the things that we do want to talk about, something that's coming out, is that we actually just became team certified as well. So we've got one team
Congratulations.
that's team certified, and we'll have a number of products coming out over the next 6 to 9 months that will be team certified. So we're real excited about having that coming out.
Well, and that's all awesome, and congratulations there. One of the biggest pain points in UC is connectivity. What is Lumens doing about that specifically?
Yeah, it's funny that you say connectivity because with AV, as everything has gotten really cool in regards to 4K, 8K, everything higher standards and higher qualities going on that piece on there. Connectivity is as simple as it is still a problem, right?
Yeah.
No matter how it is. So Lumens earlier this year launched out the Lumens OIP bridge, right? So we have an encoder and a decoder solution for this piece. And really what it does is that it helps combine all those different protocols for HDMI. You have USB, you have Dante, you have NDI, whatever RTSP. We really sat there and said, okay, we've made this device, connect it to your cameras or whatever it might be, and have it all seamlessly connect together and communicate together. So we really took out a lot of the difficulties in having the multiple adapters connect to it. I think that's the most important piece, is that we simplified the background of what you see.
And are you doing this through AV over IP, or is it a proprietary standard? What are you doing?
So we are definitely doing AV over IP, and the beauty of this is not a proprietary standard. It's all based off of IP. So it's not a Lumen solution. It is an AV solution that we got going on. So that really makes us interchangeable across the board, right? We can have multiple devices on NDI that could be there, or multiple places on Dante as well. So it's not just one or two pieces. It's a larger network that goes on inside a larger office space. It could be through education, or it could be through government, etc.
So you mentioned HDMI, USB, Dante, NDI. What about wireless connectivity? Are you able to accommodate that?
Most definitely. So obviously we work hand in hand with Barcode ClickShare, for example, is one application that's being used on there. So from there, it's just a simple connection via, I believe, USB-C to that Barcode ClickShare, and you're set to go. So when you have that larger conference room setup or even an auditorium setup, wireless capability with that, it just connects directly to the Barcode ClickShare.
And so you're promoting this as both a BYOD and a BYOM solution?
That is definitely correct. We promote that as a BYOD and BYOM, and also multiple BYOM as well. So you have maybe in the situations where you're in a public meeting situation, or like a school board meeting, you have multiple presenters on there. It's a simple quick click to a USB-C to each individual at their table, and they click right back on the network. So that's the beauty of this device.
And if you are using a wired connectivity like USB, does it also provide charging back to the connected laptop? And
It is going to charge the connection to the laptop. Right now, it's not. That's in the process, and that'll be updated in the next firmware on there. But yes, that is a necessity on it, because given that you've got shortages in regards to USB-C on some
yeah,
laptops, you have one port on there. You kind of have to choose power and the connectivity on that
yeah,
piece.
yeah. And the primary focus of this product, it doesn't just encompass meeting rooms, right? I mean, it's going to have a lot of applications outside of meeting rooms, like classrooms and even applications like signage.
Oh, well, yeah, definitely digital signage is a very big market that we're jumping into on that piece on there for the connectivity on this one. The other piece that you have with it is also with, excuse me, with the classrooms and lecture management solutions on there. We're currently right now in a case study right now. Of course, I can't publicly name the university. We've done about 300 lecture rooms right now at one of their campuses so far. So I'm very excited about that. Hopefully we'll get that case study launched out early next year on that one. So they're an NDI house. So they're using an OIP decoder for the connectivity to it. And then they also have the encoder as well.
That's very cool. And is this available to anyone who's a Lumens dealer, or do you have to get certified for this particular product?
It's such a simple product. There is no certification. That's the beauty of this, is that there is no. It's a very simple product. So any of our dealers out in the market can purchase it from one of our distribution partners to get that purchased on there, or through one of our integrators as well. So it just depends on where they're at in the chain.
Well, that's awesome. I want to ask you one last question, because obviously with the position that you're in and the fact that you're team certified, but also you're providing you provide a wide range of products that are all kind of like problem solvers. You're sort of
Mhm.
like a pain point problem solving company. Where do you see the future of this? Sort of like if you were to look forward 6 months, a year, maybe even a year and a half out. I mean, it's impossible to go beyond that, I think, because of AI and things like that. But in the short term future, where do you see all this connectivity sort of shaking out?
Well, I think when we look at connectivity, and especially AV over IP specifically, just the growth on that. I saw a number. I think it was like this year's numbers were just under $5 billion for globally. About 2 billion of that's the United States. They're expecting like a double-digit growth in AV over IP over the
Yeah, it
next
makes sense.
7 to 8 years, and they said it was some crazy number of like $7 billion to 8 billion just in the United States alone, and over the next 5 to 7 years, where they're seeing that growth on that piece on there. Um, part of also, I had a chance and I saw read an article about from Sean Wargle from Avixa on that piece on that one, and you might and that one is he talks about just the market overall is growing so significantly in regards to that. Is every connection has an AV over IP. I think it was like 80% of the corporate integration is using AV over IP, 70% of the education. So it's dominating in that market. It's growing on there, and it's just, even though it's quite full in regards to the market share, it's still growing because I think everything
Yeah.
else can be done via IP.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. And in fact, that same piece that Sean did, he also talked about the size of the market being something like 400 billion by 2030. So obviously our market's in pretty good shape and growing
Yeah.
overall. So this has been great. I really appreciate you doing this, Chester. Thank you very much for popping in here and talking about your solution. The product again is called the Lumens OIP Bridge. This is it. You're looking at it now. And it is designed as a pain point connectivity solver, for lack of a better term. And of course, this is a perfect day to do this for launch week 12. Thanks for joining us, Chester.
Gary, I appreciate the time. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak with you. And would love for any questions about Lumens, please go to our website at mylumens.com for questions about the OIP solution that we have.
And we also have it here on the page, so you can learn more about it by scrolling down. Thank you very much, Chester, and have a great day, everyone. Let's jump back into a session.